So, guys, for starters, how has the summer been for Vitamin X?
Kind of lazy for the band, but for me personally not. But we didn't really do that much, right? I mean,
No, I mean we played a few shows. Well, we had one show got canceled because our drummer had a problem with his back, and I mean he basically screwed up his back the day before the show. For the rest, it's been a lot of things happening. We were busy with finishing our recordings.
which is
Yeah.
almost finished. The new LP almost finished. Like at least close to be ready. I mean, but not ready yet. And I think last show we played was in May or something like that. I mean, right?
Yeah.
But for the rest, for the band was quite quiet. Yeah, at least for Vitamin X.
Yeah, well, Age of Paranoia came out in 2018 to a bit different world. Well, how much material do you have at the moment? And you said it's not yet ready, but in which stage is the upcoming recording?
Okay, so basically we recorded, everything is recorded, the vocals are all done. Only, let's say, a couple of songs, our guitar player has to finish the solos on a couple of songs, and a couple of backing vocals we need to do it. We just didn't manage to finish that in the last day of recording. So I think after half day we'll be done with that, and then mixing is almost done. I mean, everything is prepared. So the final mix we have to do, and like I said, we're really close to, finalize the record. I mean, but with us, everything takes a long time for some reason, because everybody's busy, and then until we all find the time to meet and finish that, I mean, with a guy who's producing, takes time. Let's put it that way, I mean.
Yes, actually, shorter answer to the same question. We had actually the songs ready in January 2020. We were supposed to record them in April 2020, and then in March the world changed, like you said. So our recording sessions got canceled. Then our drummer, who lives in Germany, and the rest of the band lives in Amsterdam, in Holland, we couldn't meet or play for a while. So then it took some time to get back into those songs. We wrote some new songs. We wrote a lot of new lyrics. And this new record is gonna kick some ass.
No, it's gonna be a good record, but it took a long time to finish everything.
As you mentioned, the pandemic changed things. Did it change something in the way you write and record music?
I don't think not so much. Because our drummer, like I said, he lives in Germany. A lot of the songs get written by Mark, the guitar player, and me. So we go into a practice room, just the two of us, and I play drums on his songs, and he plays drums on my songs. We record them, send that to Danny, our drummer, and Marco. And then later, when we meet with Danny, we can go through many songs already. In that sense, I don't think it changed a lot. I think the topics clearly, are different. The world is different than it was before. For recording process, not so much. I mean, we joked about that we should practice on Zoom, but we actually never did.
I think that day will come at some point. I think that day will come at some point. But as Alex said, our drummer lives in Germany, in Bremen, and as we're getting older, all the travelings and everything is also getting more tiring. But still doing the same thing. I mean, before and after Corona, I mean.
You mentioned the topics, so what are the issues that are on your mind in 2023 and will be on the album?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the whole world has become more paranoid. There's a lot of this conspiracy theories going around. Trump, of course, was elected shortly before, and he really milked the pandemic for what it's worth. And it was also pandemic was also a time of introspection for a lot of people. Life as we knew it kind of stopped for a while, and it seems to be kind of back right now. But I actually got COVID like a week and a half ago.
But it's okay now. But it's okay now.
Again, so I got a fresh reminder that it's still alive. Yeah, I think those are the themes that come back in the lyrics. I think overall kind of more pessimistic worldview, I would say, at least for the songs that I wrote.
Well, I mean, you answered the question pretty much. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not like now it's better than before. You know, like we always had like a certain teams, you know, anti-war teams and stuff like that as well. I mean, like, and now we have a new war also. You know, like, so it's still actual. You know, like, so just the things are just continuing where we stopped before. You know, like with the last record. I mean. Maybe more pessimistic what he said. I mean, like, but yeah, not everything, I guess. I mean,
No, not everything.
not everything.
Let's not spoil anything, but maybe if you could like tell a bit of a backstory of one of the upcoming songs. Like you mentioned, something was already ready in 2020 and things were rewritten. Like maybe you could share like a story of one song.
Damn. We weren't prepared for those kind of questions. You know, I'll mention one thing, because our drummer lives in Germany, you know, so a lot of songs we practice and let's say, prepare them together, not just in Amsterdam, you know, like, but on the tours and on the shows. Like, so there are certain songs, you know, that we, let's say, play for the first time, you know, in Italy with him, you know, in the practice room. We will, like, let's say, play in Rome, some festival, you know, we will rent a, you know, practice, you know, rehearsal room, and we will just like play those songs, you know. So there's a certain songs like, yeah, dude, Italian song, this song, you know, like, because we remember that we practiced them, you know, for the first time. But specific story about certain specific songs, yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, seriously, Alex, maybe you.
Well, you mentioned that war has been around for a long time, also as a subject in Vitamin X lyrics. I have written another song for this album where the word war comes back on every line of the lyric, which was the intention of the song, because war, well, hit really close to home for me, because I'm originally from Russia. I moved to Holland like 30 years ago, and Putin, being the idiot and well, insane person that he is right now, was completely unimaginable. I grew up in a country called Soviet Union, where Russia and Ukraine were actually both part of that country. So to me, it's like one side of my city fighting against the other side of my city, which is insane. We've played with Vitamin X in Ukraine. We've played in Moscow. We've played in Belarus, and it was always a great time. We always had a lot of. We met a lot of great people, and we know that the struggles of common people are the same everywhere in the world. So something like this being started by a completely out of control maniac is just, well, still doesn't fit in my head. So So yeah, that's one song on the record that unfortunately is still too true to the world that we live in.
Let's jump to a bit different politics and straight edge. Actually, there's a lot of straight edge bands playing today too in Refuse Anniversary Festival. So the easy question: what does straight edge mean to you guys?
I would say that straight edge for us is very personal thing, you know, like it's not something that we're trying to push on other people, or you can even read in our lyrics about it. I mean, like maybe on the early records, I mean, like one or two songs, but for the rest, I mean, like we really consider that as something as a personal choice and not something that we want to preach, or you know, like and people just know that we're straight edge because we have this X, you know, vitamin X, you know. But that's it. Our themes of our songs are like as you already know, you know, like very very political, personal, you know, like so. But we are all straight edge. The whole band is straight edge. Our guitar player actually is the oldest guy in the band. He never ever drank, you know, like he's the one who is like since he's born straight edge. I mean, like, so yeah, that's what I can say. I mean, like, Alex.
I don't really know. I think you said what we all mostly think about it. Yeah.
We've been talking about the effects of the pandemic. How has it affected underground music in Netherlands? How do you see? How has the underground music scene bounced back in there?
Okay, I will say something weird now, but I think after pandemic, like it blew completely. I mean, like there are, in Amsterdam at least, you know, like a bunch of new bands, new kids. It seems like the whole quarantine, you know, like a lockdown thing, you know, in the as long, I mean, it was bad in the time when it was happening, but then after that, I mean, like we got like a whole new generation of punk kids and hardcore kids, you know, coming to shows, you know, it's like shows never been so packed like in Amsterdam as in last, like, let's say 2 years, you know. So it has like a negative, but also the positive aspect, you know, like that's what I can see. I mean, and that's about the music scene, and in you know, like for our lives, it's something else. I mean, right, Alex?
Yeah. I don't really have anything to add. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bands. There's friends of ours put out a record by this band from Amsterdam called The COVIDs. Pretty cool, new, punkish, punk band.
77 punk band. I mean.
That came out of the pandemic, and there's a lot more projects and stuff that people have done and are still doing in the pandemic. So in that sense, it kind of got a good kick in a good direction for the underground scene.
People were bored back then, you know, like then I started a lot of projects. I mean, that's how I'm seeing things. I mean, I kind of started another new band during the idea starts growing during the COVID, you know, like, but I started a year later. I mean, like, so I don't know. So it's all not everything negative, huh? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's very cool to hear. Talking about underground music scene, Refuse Records is celebrating its 30th anniversary, and we are here at the Köpi and the 3-day festival. So, what are your just like thoughts on Refuse Records?
I think Robert is one of the nicest guy I ever met. He's a very good friend of mine. I think it's great what he's doing. We put out some great records. I mean, it's not everything is my cup of tea. I mean, like, but I just respect him so much, and we know each other like already for 30 years. We go way back. I mean, like, and I think it's just great that he managed to pull this off. I mean, like, and he's doing the labels for so long, and he's so active and touring with bands, booking tours for multiple bands. I mean, like, it's huge respect for him having so much energy to do all these things. I mean, like, so I just hope everything is gonna work out tonight and tomorrow, and because he's also gonna do the Polish edition of the festival. So I hope we're also gonna play there. That's next month. So I really hope everything is going to be fine, and he will, come out with a smile and happy with everything. I mean, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, congratulations to Refuse Records for hitting 30. I mean, there's not a lot of labels, definitely not from that time that survived and thrived in the scene and went through all the ups and downs of the underground scenes, and well, came out on top. Still are putting on great records, great festivals, and shows, and just being, he really grew to for Refuse Records to be one of the important European underground punk and hardcore record labels, which is yeah, much respect.
Let's go back to Vitamin X then. There's the new record, of course, coming out, but how do you see the future of Vitamin X in a bigger picture?
Well, in what 3 years time, we're going to celebrate 30 years of Vitamin X. We started in '96. I'm looking forward to that. I already have all these ideas of how how the poster should look like.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I mean, we're gonna put out a new record. It's gonna kick some ass, and looking forward to putting that out there. We might not be as active as we used to be maybe 10 or 20 years ago, but everybody's got a busy life and family and responsibilities. But we still love.
We're not planning
love.
to stop. We're not planning to stop.
Yeah.
And that's for sure. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what you said. We won't be playing like touring all the time like we used to do. But I mean, like we'll still keep things rolling, right?
Yeah.
We talked about future, and you mentioned 96. So I'm a sucker for nostalgia, so let's go there. So what are kind of the first things or the best memories that come to mind when you think about the times when you started the band in 96, or why not the 2000 and the albums See Through Their Lies?
Okay, if you're asking me personally, I think I prefer the period like in early 2000 more than in 96 when we started, because the scene was just really good. There were a lot of good bands. I mean, like we toured like a US all the time back then, with a lot of good bands that we really liked. So we were more attached to that. In 96 when we started, I mean, then it was a bit different, like it was this whole youth crew thing going on. I mean, like in early 2000, the thrash revival was going on. So I kind of missed those days more than days in the late 90s, but that's personal thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't in the band originally, although I was playing in a different band in '96, also in Amsterdam, who shared members with Vitamin X. I joined in '99 before we recorded "See Through the Lies," like you said. I really like that record, in the sense that the songs are really good. The production is not my favorite. I actually was thinking some months ago that if we ever managed to get our own studio where we could record, we should just go ahead and re-record those songs with good production. That would make them stand out way more. We recorded it in a legendary studio in the Netherlands called Koeien Verhuurbedrijf, where back in the day, in the 80s, all the old bands like BGK and the Italian band Negazione, who lived in Amsterdam for a while, would record stuff.
But with the wrong producer.
But yeah, the wrong producer, and it just didn't the sound-wise didn't work out as we wanted it. Although a lot of people have come to us and said like, hey, that was the first record I heard from you guys, and I still love it. So I'm not gonna say no to that.
The people, what's the name? People that bleed and down the drain as well. I mean, like people really like from that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite song or songs from that album?
I like Back for More. We
Yeah,
actually
that's a good one as well.
we played that one like 10 years ago live a few times, and then people came up to me and were like, "Hey, that new song, that's fucking great." And I was like, "That's not a new song, that's just the same song you know from Caesar's Lies, but it actually sounds good because because we played it live instead of on that shitty recording studio." So yeah.
Yeah.